CCR TV, channel of God's love. A warm welcome to all our viewers on this episode of Goenche Tarvotti. आमचे गोंयचे तारवोटी भाव तारवार नोकरी करतना संवसाराच्या कोनशा कोनशांनी शिंपडल्यात. ही आमची कार्यावळ तांचे खातीर आनी तांच्या तारवोटी जिविताचेर उजवाड घालूंक. जरी आमकां आमचे तारवोटी भाव पळोवंक हांसते आनी खुशाल दिसतात, पूण तांच्या वेवसायीक जिवितांत तांकां जायते आव्हानांक फुडो कोचचो पडटा. तारवोट्यांचें जिवीत इतलें सोंपें न्हय. हें आमी हे कार्यावळींत तुमचे मुखार दवरलां. Today, we have in our studios a down-to-earth and a humble Goenche Tarvotti. Even though he is a master mariner and he has been sailing for last 27 years on different vessels, Captain Morais from Concoli is presently commanding offshore DP vessel. But he loves to maintain a low profile. गोंयचो आनी गोंयचे मातयेचो मोग तो भियेन आसतना आपल्या कांतारांतल्यान, कवितांतल्यान आनी बरोवप्यांतल्यान स्पश्ट करता. एक बरो गावपी, गिटार रोसपी जायतींच ताची कांतारां आमकां यूट्यूबाचेर पळोवंक मेळटात. Captain Morais, besides being a seaman, is a gifted lyricist. We welcome Captain Morais from Concoli to our studios. Welcome, Captain.
आमचे तुमकां आनी तुमचे CCR टीव्हीकूय कालचान तान दिनवास ह्या बारीक मनशाक हे मोठे कार्यावळीन येवकार दिल्ल्या खातीर.
हांव नोकळो कॅप्टन जोएल तूं तुमकां बारीक कित्याक समजताय तो. हातूनच तुजें व्हडपण रिगलेलें आसा. Let's begin. I would like to know, Joel, do you have any seamen in your family, or are you the first generation Tarvotti?
ना, म्हजो बापूय आवयच्या कुसव्यान आसतना म्हज्या बापायचो बापूय म्हणजे म्हजो आजो संवसाराक वंतरलो आनी बेजिकली म्हजी ग्रॅनी ती शेतकारी, सो शेतान वावर करून म्हजो बापायक आनीक एक सिबलींग आशिल्लें भयण, ती म्हज्या बापायनी 12 वर्सां ओडली आनी शेतान काम करून तुमकां वाडयली. आनी म्हजो बापूय इज अ सीफेरर. थ्रू आउट हीज लायफ ही वर्क फॉर SCI शिपींग कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया.
I see.
आनी म्हज्या बापायक आमी बेजिकली वी आर 4 सिबलिंग्स. म्हजो व्हडलो भाव म्हज्यानी 6 वर्सां व्हडलो. सो म्हज्या बापायक आमी दोगूय तारवोटी जाल्ले नाका आशिल्ले, पूण नशिबान म्हज्या व्हडल्या भावाक तारवाचो रस्तो धरचो पडलो. आनी आफ्टर दॅट इवन आय नेवर वॉन्टेड टू बिकम अ सीफेरर. But again, time and circumstances took me to sea.
But since how long you have been sailing now?
All together, आता 27 वर्सां जालीं. I still remember May, I can't remember the date, but May 1997 म्हजें पयलें तारूं.
पयलें तारूं. म्हाका एक सांग, तुवें आतांच सांगलें म्हाका सीमेन जावपाची खुशी नासली म्हणलें तुवें.
एब्सोल्युटली.
जाल्यार तुका सीमेन जावपाक, तारवोटी जावपाक उत्तेजन खंयच्यान आयलें आनी तुका कोण जावपाक जाय आसलो तशें जाल्यार? गोंयानूच काम करपाक जाय आसलें?
भुरगेपणींतल्यान म्हजी एकूच इच्छा आशिल्ली, जस्ट वन एम्बिशन. आय वॉन्टेड टू जॉयन दी गोवा पुलीस फोर्स एज अ पुलीस सब इन्स्पेक्टर.
तूं गोवा पुलिसेन जॉयन जावंक सोदतालो भुरगो आसता?
या, दॅट्स रायट.
म्हणजे तूं शिंकताना ते पिरायेसान?
म्हज्या स्कुलींग डेजाक थावन दीस वॉज दी ओनली एम्बिशन एंड आय हॅड इट थ्रू आउट दी कंप्लिशन ऑफ माय एड्युकेशन.
And where did this inspiration to be to join the Goa Police Force come from?
Exactly, I can't tell you as such, लेकिन म्हाका दिसतालें की एक पुलीस ऑफिसर गोवा पुलिसान भरती जावचो असो.
जाल्यार तुवें पुलीस ऑफिसर जावपाचें सोडून तारवारची वाट कित्याक धरली? तुजो बापायकूय तुका जालेलें नाका आहलें तारवोटी?
So, right? Yeah, that's absolutely right. So 1996 जेन्ना I completed my BSc from Srimati Parvatibai Chogle College in chemistry. Luckily there were openings out in Goa Police, and I was one of the applicant. And I was almost there, I was almost there.
Meaning you were almost selected?
I was almost there
Okay.
on merit. But the final stage is due to lack of political contact. I could not get into
You
police
mean
force.
to say your merit didn't suffice and you still had to bring in political
Yeah,
context?
that's
That's what you want to say?
Yeah, I won't hesitate to say yes to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you had to join the police force, perhaps you wouldn't have been a seaman today, a shippy today, and not been a captain also, perhaps.
That's
Huh?
that's
But destiny had a different
yeah,
role.
yeah, that's my thinking, but I would say like God's plans are the best.
God plans are the best. ओके जाल्यार पयलोच तूं हुंयचे बोटीर चडलो आनी तेन्ना तूं कितें म्हूण जॉयन जालो?
See, म्हजी पयली boat, I just can't forget that ship. Agios Phaneros.
Ajus Faneros.
Agios Phaneros. It
Was a cargo ship?
It was a cargo ship. It had 5 hatches. I still remember.
Okay.
And
So not very big.
No, it's I will if I'm not mistaken,
30, 40?
yeah, the gross tonnage was about 35,000.
35, 40.
Yeah. 4 cranes, and I joined what to say, some Nimina Rankar basically on the crew list,
Okay.
and that was my that was my first vessel, and
Your
that-
entry.
basically that rank was called as a deck boy.
Deck
So
boy.
it's like how you have these office boys,
Okay.
So I was just a deck boy, and basically I was called for any kind of job. And my entry was basically, when I just climbed the gangway, chief officer and Maga Bosanak hand over kelo, and I still remember. Bosan said, "Okay, change and come back
Okay.
on the deck." And what he gave me is basically a broom and a dustpan.
I see.
Yeah, and that continued for 3 odd months basically. Same routine job, and sometimes I was thinking of coming back. But I still remember my mother's words. She's no longer living. Baba, जाता जाल्यार पासेंस घे
Hmm.
आणि I still remember these words. पोट व्हडलें कर आनी तोंड धाकटें कर.
Okay.
And पयलेंच व्हडलें मेळना. These were my mother's words which were basically encouraging me. आनी हांव चिंतालो हेवूय सोडून आयलो जाल्यार फुडार कितें काय म्हणून. But as time progresses, so after 4 months, I learned everything basically on the vessel, and I was the one who was looked for everything and anything on deck basically.
So can we say this few words from your mother or advice that came from her heart was a turning point for you at that time?
See, I would say that yes, because things were
And
such.
today they weigh in gold.
Yeah. And things were such, for the first 3 months, basically. I will not say it's a kind of harassment.
Okay.
It was part of life, and luckily I had many Goans on that vessel, because I joined this vessel. I got a break through one Goan captain, and in Goya, o captain खूप फामाद, especially Shashti side in.
I see.
And he was originally from Lotoli. His name was Captain Pimenta, and he had office in Nariman Point.
Okay.
And basically, for some reason, he used to employ many Goans. Those days.
So you were one among them.
I was one among them.
Tell me something. जेन्ना तुका गोंयांत आसतना तुका गोंयांतूच गोवा पुलीस खात्यान जॉयन जावपाक जाल्लो, तुजी ही खोशी तुका फुलफील करूंक संदी मेवली ना फॉर
Yeah.
वॉट एवर रिजन्स आनी तो तारवार गेलो.
Tarvar again.
So how did you adjust yourself? Was this thought at the back of my mind? You were also well qualified then. BSc is a good qualification to go up, And what was your mindset? How did you adjust to this kind of a job at the lowest level on the ship, cargo ship?
See, I had just one ambition in life.
Mhm.
There might have been other opportunities, but I had just one ambition in life. And the next one, I was close to journalism, but I have got any formal training in journalism. So I thought of joining the ship. I had other options. My sister basically a British national.
I see.
So I had on one side my mother basically माझ्या बहिणीचे फाटीक पडली हाका मातशें जाता जाल्यार व्हर.
Hmm.
And those days it was easy also, on work permit, not on basically on work permit to take me there. But for some reason I never wanted to leave Goa. So I joined shipping, and basically prior marriage, I was never stable. I was never stable as such on the ship basically.
I see.
Always that thing used to come in my mind, you know. Police police police. But there was no way out. And as time progresses, I would say like no, now I am stabilized.
म्हाका एक सांग, आयज मेरेन तूं कितलीं वर्सां जालीं तारवार नोकरी कोत्ताय आनी खंयच्या बोटींचेर तुवें नोकरी केले? वॉज इट थ्रू आउट कार्गो वेसल्स or were there any tankers in between?
No, I have done one small tanker, that is 10,000 tonner product tanker, just one. But I worked on this vessel. I have done basically 4 consecutive contracts on this vessel, 6 months each.
Okay.
And or tanker basically Las Palmas base ashillo. And before that, throughout I was working on general cargo vessels and bulk carriers. And then somewhere in 2007, when I finished when I completed my mates from UK, I was home, and for some personal reasons I was basically not ready to join a ocean going vessel.
I see.
For basically for personal reasons, and I was not married then. So घरा बसून असलो अशेंच Bombay सावन एक call आयले. There is one offshore vessel. That time DP was basically not very famous. But offshore vessels were operating.
Not many people know also about DP vessels.
But offshore
Very
vessels,
few.
offshore vessels were basically like operating. एक phone आयलो आणि सांगपाक लागले, since you are from Goa, we have got one vessel, offshore vessel, Baysport Goa,
Baysport Goa.
and finally they will work for ONGC in Bombay High.
Bombay High.
So I am basically I am from bigger vessels, आणि ऐकलं आणि प्रमाणे बोटी हालतात बिलतात. So that fleet manager said, just give a try. And if you are not adjusted, then when she comes back to Goa, because normally she is coming back every 15 days, then you can sign off. So I took a chance there. Basically I took a chance, but the mindset was clear. I will not stay permanently here.
I see.
So after one contract, I went back on the main fleet vessel, and that time I was a mate on the main fleet vessel.
I see.
So I went back on the main fleet vessel. I came down, I got married, and again the same fellow called me again. And when I took that time the job, when I took for the second time, then I said
on the DP vessel.
That time it was not a DP vessel basically.
Okay.
Okay, the history behind DP, you know. I was working on these offshore vessels, okay, and they had DP, but I never had a DP certification.
I see.
And then one British master, you know, for some reason he had to promote me from second, because on the offshore vessel nobody will take you directly as a mate. You had to join as a second mate. But luckily during my second contract, the British master had to promote me, because he could not get a British officer due to some lack of paperwork. So I was promoted, and then I was working on those vessels, 2 on, 2 off. And then one time I was basically sailing with a Catholic captain, you know. I won't disclose his name, but he was not from Goa. So basically he was like, all the time was after me, since you have not even got a basic DP induction course. And how's that you're operating DP? So basically with a smiling face, like, I used to tell him, I've been doing this with British masters, I've been doing this with Norwegian masters, now you are the only one who is after this. So, and he was basically after me. So that time Xavier's Bombay was the only institute who had this DP training all over India. So from the vessel, and that vessel was based in Kakinada, I called Xavier's. I still remember the name of the girl, Thelma. She said, I said I want to book my DP course. And she said, okay, if you book it individually, that is 1 lakh rupees. But if you book both the courses together, that is induction plus advance, it is 1 lakh 30,000. So I said, book both. And from the vessel, I never went home. I directly went to Bombay. I did my induction. I went back to sea for 30 days. I came back. I did my advanced. I then completed my sea time of 60 days, and I got my DP certificate.
No, just for the benefit of our viewers, the lay people and those who are interested in shipping, maybe you could put some little light on this DP vessel briefly, because technicalities of dynamic positioning vessel, as they're called. Am I right?
Yes, dynamic
So,
positioning.
yeah. So, let our viewers know what are DP vessels, and those who are interested even in making a specific career on these vessels will benefit from that.
See, dynamic positioning vessels, now offshore industry basically is supported by only dynamic positioning vessels. So apart from few anchor handling vessels, rest all the operations at offshore are supported by dynamic positioning. So nowadays, break मेळपाक company तुजे कडेन basically experience मागतात. But without seeing a vessel, you can't get experience. So basically, the criteria to join these vessels is you need to have at least second batch ticket. You need to have a DP induction course. That is a 1 week course. My days it was 1 lakh. Now might be about 40,000-50,000 rupees.
Okay.
And after that, you have to do a sea time of 30 days. It is calculated in a different manner now. My days it was not so tough.
I see.
So, but you need to have 30 days of sea time. So after 30 days, you have to do a DP advanced course. After advanced course, another 60 days of sea time, and then you have to apply for a license. You get something called as DPO license, but that is only for deck officers. For engineers, they just need to do some course, basically engine maintenance, something of that sort. Okay. For engineers and ETOs, they don't need any license, only the basic training.
Now, Captain Joel, now as a master of this offshore DP vessel, what are the nature of your duties and how different are they from a normal sailing vessel, cargo ship and bulk carriers?
See, navigation remains to be same. You go anywhere in the world, any kind of vessel. Navigation remains to be same, but these operation wise, these are different basically, like going alongside, casting it off, it is basically master's responsibility.
Okay.
Very rarely where pilots are mandatory, only those ports pilots come, but pilot don't do anything with these vessels. Okay, it is basically everything the master does, the basically the berthing, the cast off, and the operation wise, these are different kind of vessels we have in this offshore industry. We have the basic, the supply vessels. So I have done supply vessels, I have done drilling, I have done something called a well stimulation, and recently I was doing geotechnical survey.
I see.
Okay.
All these technical services are rendered by the DP vessels.
Yes.
Offshore DP vessels. That is how it is.
How it is.
Complete full set of activity and
full
services.
set of activities.
Tell me something. What is the duration of your voyage in this case for this kind of activity? Is it a lengthy voyage of maybe contract of 3-4 months, or is it shorter than that?
Basically, see, we are doing 2 on 2 off.
2 months on,
2 months on,
2 months off.
2 months on, 2 months off.
Okay.
And now,
and it is a 24/7 operation.
Operations are 24/7, but our rest hours are being accounted for.
Okay.
As per the MLC, and we have got a manpower to work around the clock. And master is basically standby for. It's not that I'm awake for 24 hours, but standby for any requirement.
Yeah, तुझी ड्युटी चेर ही तू जबाबदारी पाळटाना तुका असिस्टिंग ऑफिसर्स कितले असतात डाऊन द लाइन?
असिस्टिंग ऑफिसर म्हाका चीफ ऑफिसर असता, आणि चीफ ऑफिसर असता, चीफ इंजिनियर असता, आणि ओर म्हाका ब्रिजीर चीफ ऑफिसर सोडून आणि 3 ऑफिसर असतात.
I see.
So basically watches are divided into 12 वरा. 12 वरा एक चीफ ऑफिसर आणि एक सेकंड ऑफिसर करता, आणि दुसरी 12 वरा another second officer, but he is known as senior DPO. आणि त्याच्या बरोबर आणि एक सेकंड ऑफिसर असता. But the watches are scheduled in such a way that every 6 hours, one new DPO goes up on the bridge.
I see.
Yeah.
So quite tough thing.
Yeah.
Tell me something, Captain. How challenging is this particular operation of this offshore DP vessel? Because dynamic positioning of vessel is something different from the normal course of operation. Am I right? And on account of maybe rough sea conditions and constant bad weather, how do you guys cope up with this? Does it hamper smooth
See,
operations?
we have got basically working criteria. Okay, एक डॉक्युमेंट असता
Okay.
ताजेर वेदरूय डिस्कस केल्लें असता.
Hmm.
So we have got a working criteria, but we are basically free, Commercial pressure is there, it is always there. But you need to be practical also. कित्याक ते हाडलो एक फावटी the document says 25 more than 25 knots you cannot work.
Okay.
Okay.
Speed.
But it says 30 knots. Let's say wind goes up to 30 knots, and she's stable basically. So you need to look in the practicability also. की सगळे फावट तो डॉक्युमेंटा प्रमाणे तूं गेलो न्हू. I should not discuss this, but this is the reality.
Yeah.
सगळी फावट तूं डॉक्युमेंटा प्रमाणे गेलो, there no work will take place.
Do any of our Goan seafaring officers opt out for this offshore DP vessel operation in this particular line?
See, हांव जाणा ते प्रमाणे म्हज्या बरोबर तो रिकॉर्ड नाशिल्लो. म्हळ्यार आसतले आनी म्हज्या बरोबर द ओनली गोवन सिन्स आय एम ऑफशोर मेन फ्लिटान आसतना जायत जाण गोंयकारां बरें काम केलां.
Okay.
मेन फ्लिटान आसतना ओनली गोवन आय केम अक्रॉस इज अ कूक.
Okay.
ओके.
But technical officers none.
टेक्निकल ऑफिसर आय हॅव नॉट काम अक्रॉस. म्हळ्यार आय नो सम पीपल जे ऑफशोर इंडस्ट्री आसात.
आता ही तुमची ऑफशोर डीपी वेसल जी आसा ती ओमुकूच फिक्स जाग्याचेर वता आउट इन द सी और यू हॅव टू गो फ्रॉम वन नेशन टू द अदर across the
See, it depends upon see now for
where the drilling operations are.
See, now I was on a vessel, diving vessel.
Okay.
And I was in only South Africa at a beautiful place called Mosel Bay.
Okay.
And I was there where
You were located at one location.
one location
for the 2 months.
and no two, but I was there for 5 years basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's a company there called Petroese, which is basically a government owned company. And they had hired this vessel, and akko 300 lok, it's a small place, you can call it a small village, and soglo lok amko ortalo. So I was there for 5 years. After that, after COVID, they shifted me to a place called Angola.
I see. Angola.
It was basically Portuguese colony as well.
Yes.
And the name sounds like us, basically all the names. And थंय हांव आशिल्लो 3.5 वर्सां. But when I was in Angola, we were working between Angola, Gabon, Ivory Coast, and Republic of Congo.
Joel, I'm taking you back down memory lane.
Yeah.
Your ambition was to join the Goa police.
Yeah.
And with the qualification that you had, perhaps you would have come up to a very senior level today.
Yeah.
Maybe DYSP and maybe even above. Okay. Now, if you look back at that instant, and if you had to join, you have become a SP or a DYSP or an SP, and आता तू एक sailing captain of a offshore DP vessel. Which you think is a most stressful position? Would have been that or this?
See, that thing still comes in my mind. But now looking at the present affairs,
Yeah.
I will not go into detail.
Okay.
It is this police thing is more sort of a controlled job, like.
I see.
So I think it was the right decision. It was never a right decision because I was basically not selected. But again, I will say God's plans were the best plans.
So at the end of it all,
Yeah.
in सगळे हातून घेतल्या उपरांत, are you a happy and a satisfied man today?
See, when it comes to family and all, I am very much satisfied man.
Yeah.
And I am happy with what I am doing. Basically, this profession is very honest. I will not hesitate to say that.
Yeah.
So I am into a honest profession. And again, I said God's plans were the best plans. But again, that thing still sometimes come. But I will say finally I am stabilized here.
So you mean to say somewhere in your subconscious mind, this is still playing.
It's playing, because it was
Like
very hurting,
like
see,
old
because,
record.
because I was basically very much confident, that I will definitely get it, and I did not get it.
Sometimes they say, no, if wishes were horses,
Yeah.
beggars would ride.
So that
Okay, all wishes don't come true.
yeah. So that's what basically I'm
yeah.
saying. God's plans were the best.
म्हाका एक सांग, जेन्ना तूं ऑफशोर वेसलाचेर आसता ड्युटी आनी जेन्ना तुजी ड्युटी ऑफ जाता, देर इज अ रिलिव्हर हू विल रिलीव यू, तूं तुजो रिकामो वेळ ह्या हाचेर कसो सादता?
Basically, there is no reliever for me,
Okay.
But anyway,
But you are on standby kind of a thing.
you cannot say standby. I've got my rest hours and all.
Yeah.
And I am not that kind of man. No, mobile, it is very less.
Okay.
And Tarvotti asthana, no, I don't watch movies. So
So तूं रिकामो वेळ कसो सादता?
म्हजो चड वेळ हांव ब्रिजीर आसता. Okay, in my cabin, basically in my cabin, the only time I go in my cabin is to sleep. And I basically during my free time, leisure time, basically I write lyrics, Konkani songs, and I write articles and poetries.
ओय, कोंकणी सॉंग बरयताय म्हण हांव जाणा. हांव तुका तेंच विचारूंक सोदी, ही तूं कोंकणी सॉंगां तुज्या रिकाम्या वेळार बरयताय, तुका इन्स्पिरेशन खंयच्यान येता? कित्याक तुजीं सॉंगां जीं आसात तीं गोंयचेर आदारलेलीं आसात, गोंयच्या निसर्गाचेर आदारलेलीं आसात आनी असले कांय गोश्टी आसात. From where do you get this inspiration while you are sailing miles, thousands of miles away?
Basically, when I was very young, I was very fond of this theatres and all. Young in the sense during my school days, but afterwards I just basically forgot about it. And COVID आयलें, so that was the time basically. For some reason I started to write lyrics and sing, and it worked out. Though
How do you manage the recording part of it? कित्याक तूं जेन्ना सेलिंग आसता तेन्ना तुजो खंयचो तरी एक व्हिडिओ रिलीज जाता युट्यूबाचेर.
So sailing न्ही, COVID times तुवें, if you believe me, Lenoy Gomendis, हांव ताका नॉर्मल मोबायलाचेर रिकॉर्ड करून माय वॉयस हांव लेनोयाक धाडटालो.
Okay.
So Lenoy used to make music, only music, not inserting the music. Basically music for that song. And Lenoy म्हाका परतो WhatsAppचेर धाडटालो. So on one mobile, you won't believe it, on one mobile the music was played.
Yeah.
And then the other mobile I used to sing the song.
You used to sing the song on board the DP vessel only, offshore vessel?
On the DP vessel.
And there was no other disturbance from outside?
So because my original songs, now if you remember, those related to COVID and all. COVID and all. No,
I'm going deep into this.
So that disturbance also you can make out.
Okay. So that is how you were recording it?
On the videos initially.
And other mobile, somebody was recording your singing?
Other mobile. But one of my songs, because I know Father Seville very well. One of my song, I just send it to Father Seville, Just send it to Father Seville. I never told him to do music or to do something of that sort. It was just a plain audio without music.
Okay.
So he might have thought, I was surprised to see the song back with basically music inserted in the song. So then so that time I realized, after singing also, you can insert music for the song.
Okay. After singing also?
After singing also.
So it will difficult it is.
And basically it was not a those songs, are not studio recordings. Basically they are just recorded on the plain mobile.
Not studio recordings.
Not studio recordings.
Okay. पण तुका खंयचोच तरी एक तियात्रीस्ट जावपाची असली उर्बा असली हांगान?
तियात्रीस्ट जावपाची उर्बा, तियात्र आमी केल्याय बीन, but not on a professional stage. You have interviewed maybe a month ago one colleague of mine, Jerry Dias.
Yes.
So he was
chef.
He was writing the dramas,
okay,
and I was one of his actors.
Okay, good.
And it is in the plan basically. I am writing one script, but I don't know whether it will work out or not. But I am writing slowly. The title of the script is Goenche Gawan Pardeshi. Hopefully it will work out.
म्हाका एक सांग कॅप्टन जॉयल, गोंयचे तरणाटे जे तारवार वचोंक आशेतात न्ही, तांकां तूं असल्या तुज्या सारक्या ऑफशोर डीपी वेसलांचेर वचोंक कसलो सल्लो दिता आनी तांणी कितें मेरेन शिकची गरज आसा?
सी बेजीक रिक्वायरमेंट डेकाचेर वचपा जाय जाल्यार आनी टू बिकम अ ऑफिसर, is 12th science. Okay, 12th science, but now there are many other routes also, BSc Nautical Science, those kind of routes. But when it comes to DP vessel, you can do a cadetship on DP vessel. But for
you can do a cadetship on
you
DP
can do
vessel.
a cadetship on DP vessel, but you need to have a very good what you call as hold to join a DP vessel.
I see.
For basically for beginners, because very rarely you will find cadets there.
Okay.
But there are cadets. So after that cadetship training, you can get your COC, and since you are working on the DP vessel, certification is not a big thing.
Okay. So those technicalities can be taken care of, your certification
yeah.
part. Tell me something, Captain. Now that you have spent so many years on these offshore DP vessels, in future, if need be, can you go back as a master on a normal merchant navy vessel, cargo ship, bulk carrier, or a tanker also? Or you need to do some upgradation?
See, first of all, no upgradation is required.
No, not required.
No upgradation required, because the COC what I have got is basically unlimited.
For all the vessels?
Okay, for all the vessels.
Irrespective of its type?
Yeah. But I will now, at this age, now I am exactly 50 now.
Okay.
At this age, I don't want to go back there, because what I am doing now is 60 on, 60 off. 60 days on, 60 days off.
Yeah.
And some big companies in main fleet also, they give you 3 months, but not all companies. Still, it is a minimum of 4 months I have to do.
So you're happy with this arrangement?
Yeah, I can't even think of going back to
60 off.
I can't even think of.
So you're back with your family, and then after some time you're back on your job.
Back on the job.
What is that you miss about Goa and everything about Goenche Pond when you're sailing? Because from what I see in your songs, in your writings, it just reflects your love for Goa.
See, 2 महिने I am away from Goa. So basically, 2 महिन्यांक, I miss my Goa a lot. So if it is about migration, हांव केन्ना भायर वचपाक खूब संदी मेळ्ळ्यो. But म्हाका म्हज्या गांवघरा रावपाक जाय आशिल्लें, and that's the reason why I am still here. And that bond of unity, especially the place where I am coming from, Konkoli, and my ward, we guys still stay in those same houses where we were born. Most of us, doesn't matter. Because my ward is basically.
Which is your ward?
Benklemado. This ward also has got some history, but anyway, we'll discuss it some other time. There is no time.
I'll have to invite you again.
Yeah. And then we have about 6-7 Hindu families there, and the bond is very strong, And we still at this age, 50, at 50. So 50, and there are some elder guys also. So still in the evening time, and we sit together, we chat. We go out for outing sometimes.
Good.
And this kind of things I'm missing a lot. And morning when I'm at home, I get up always at 5 o'clock, go for a long walk, and we have got a small addas there still, proper local Goan addas.
Shetanतल्यान बाटांतल्यान.
हय.
एक सांग म्हाका जोएल, जेन्ना तूं 60 days sailing कोत्ता आनी यू आर अवे फ्रॉम गोवा, तेन्ना तुका गोंयच्या फेस्तांचो, गोंयच्या जेवणा खाणाचो, परबांचो उगडास येता, आनी तेन्ना तूं कितें कोत्ताय?
See, Goenche, Goa is always basically Karjan.
On your mind.
Goa Karjan asa. And luckily, last few years, Christmas and all, I'm always at home. Kunkulche आमचे गांवचे आस्कारांनी फेस्त मेळना last 3-4 years. आणि basically याद तो येता, याद खूप जाता. And some of my songs, like on Diwali and all, and there's one song on Our Lady of Health, South Seven Gaunchi Askarin. These were done from the vessel. Just remembering, Just remembering.
Tell me something. What are the major challenges that you face on these offshore DP vessels, and how do you manage to keep things under control?
See, now, challenges as such, the major challenge is basically the weather when it comes to operation. आणि आमचे जिवीत is वादळ मोल तुफान. So challenges
वादळ मोल तुफान.
The Tarvotti जिवीतच वादळ मोल तुफान.
I see.
So this challenge is basically is a part of our life.
And you're prepared for that.
We are prepared for that. And normally during COVID times, we were offshore. We were not supposed to be at offshore, but we were there. and suddenly the weather picked up on the anemometer. I still see the wind. The wind was about 100 knots, and it was about 14 meters swell. So I remember one incident, but the next day the second engineer told me, who happens to be my very good friend, one swell hit us, and this man from the bed, to the upper bulkhead is about 1.5 to 2 meters. He basically, he went up there, touched to the bulkhead, and he came down.
I see. So bad it was.
So bad it was.
And things like this can happen anytime.
Things like this
देखून तू म्हणताय
can
तारवड्याचे जीवित वादळ मोड आणि तुफान.
mold, tufan, and it doesn't matter how good you are, how competent you are. Someone up there.
आयज एक तारवटी जाल्ल्यान तूं काळजा मनान खुशाल आसाय फाटीं घातलें.
See, basically, I would say yes, because one good thing about this profession is it is a very honest profession, and this profession has given me everything what a normal man should achieve.
Okay, in life. Tell me something. When you are sailing for 2 months on your job offshore, तेन्ना तुजो गोचो कारभार कोण सांबाळटा?
Gorcho
Who's
Karwar,
there back home?
See,
Your
my
family.
my family is a big family basically. I've got four kids, and initially my mother was in control of the house, but once she is passed off, my wife is also a working woman, but the children are trained in such a manner that they are independent. The youngest one, who is about 8 years old, even he irons his clothes.
I see.
So otherwise it
So
would
they
have
are independent.
otherwise it would have been very difficult to run the affairs of the house, and we have got a woman there who has been with us for last 30 years. So she also helps a lot.
Joel, one last question for you. We are running out of time. Besides your very passionate hobby of composing lyrics, singing this Konkani song that you are composing and uploading them on the YouTube, what are your other hobbies?
See, apart from this, I do a lot of reading, and most of the time, especially I get up at 5 o'clock, I go for long walks. And this is basically this I should not discuss again. So this time, if all goes on fine, that's I have been doing. Even last time, I walked alone from basically Verna to Old Goa.
Verna to Old Goa.
Well, so this.
You mean you came driving from Kunkoni to Verna?
I came driving from Kunkoli to Margaon. I took a Kadamba. From Margaon to Verna, I got down there.
And from Verna,
I've this every year I do. Last 4 years, by the grace of Almighty, I am home. I'm doing those that time.
Okay.
But
so walking pilgrimage.
But I do a lot of walking
for novena. So
I don't take a chance to do it from Konkoli or Margaon, because
and you do it all by yourself, or you have a
no, I do it all by myself, because there from my village there is normally there is no walking pilgrimage, but people go from Wheeling.
So this is the other side of the Goenche Tarvotti.
This is the other side of Goenche Tarvotti,
which not many people know.
But in my village,
maybe your family knows.
But in my village, many people know that I do a lot of walking. Not that I am going from Verna to Old Goa, but many people know that I do a lot of walking basically.
No wonder you're fit as an athlete. Let's end this on this note. Thank you very much, Captain Joel.
Thank you
for making it to our studios today. तर हे जावन आसलेत कॅप्टन जोएल मोराइस कुंकोळीचे गांवांत. तो एक ऑफशोर डायनॅमीक पोजिशनिंग वेसल जेका म्हणटात ताचेर नोकरी करता आनी 2 म्हयने तो नोकरी सर्वीस करता तारवार, 2 म्हयने घरा आसता. आनी जशें हांवें सुरवातेकूच सांगलेलें, तो एक बरो गिटार वचपी आनी बरो गावपी. ह्या शिवाय ताचे आनीक जायतेच हॉबी आसात, जशें ताणें आतांच सांगलां. आनी कशे तरेन ह्या तारवार वचोंक आमच्या गोंयच्या भुरग्यांनी तरणाट्यांनी तयार जावपाक जाता कसलें शिक्षण करून, हाचेरूय हांवें थोडो भोव उजवाड घातला. तर पळयत रावात तुमचे आवडीची कार्यावळ गोंयचे तारवटी आनी तुमच्या आवडीचें चॅनल द CCR TV चॅनल. थँक यू.